Oh, Lucy's mum is texting me. She wants to have a play date with my daughter. Oh boy, I really, really like Lucy's mum, but I'm so tired. What do I do? I know it will be good for my daughter, I know. But I'm so done with people right now. Oh, I don't want to be rude though. Her mum is so lovely, and it will be good for the kids. But God, it'll be so much easier to stay home. Have you ever been in that situation before? I'm gonna guess that if you're an introverted parent, then absolutely you have. I know for me, being a mum of 2 kids, this was a common occurrence that would happen. Even if I really, really, really liked the other parent and our kids got along, sometimes it would just feel so much easier to stay home and be a hermit. Recently, I had a person comment on one of my other introverted parenting videos, and this is what they said.
Could you do a video on how introverted parents can conserve their energy during playdates with their child? I find that after about 2 hours, I am so bonked from it, and I always wish I had a means to extend my tolerance. I have learned to build in a quiet time for myself after a social event. I enjoy watching the kids play in the moment, yet drained by all the energy quickly.
Firstly, I want to congratulate this parent for building in quiet time after the social event. I think that is so important. As we all know, playdates can feel hectic. It can often feel so loud and buzzing with energy that it's a complete sensory overload. It makes sense that we will feel drained by this. So yes, to recover in these situations, it's super important to carve out that space to ground ourselves and calm our senses. What can we actually do to prevent a burnout from even happening when we do a playdate? If you know you have kids' activities, appointments, or places to be in the week, then it might be best to save your playdates for a quieter day. I found for me that when I do too many things in one day, that it was a recipe for disaster. I had to keep it to just one activity to keep my sanity and to help the kids remain in a calmer state. Look ahead at your week and make sure you carve out those days where it's quieter and you're just spending time with you and your kid. I found that by not overscheduling my week, I had more energy in my cup to be able to give myself more fully in those playdates. If your kids have high energy, then sometimes going to a park can be better when you're outside in the fresh air. I find that the screams and shouting of kids is so much easier for my senses to handle when we're all outside in the fresh air. It just kind of dulls the screams rather than being inside a house. It's great for your mental health, your physical health, and your kids as well. And it can lessen the feeling of that sensory overload. Of course, I live in the subtropics by the beach, so it just makes sense for me to have play dates in that environment. I hate the cold, and I'm not quite sure how I would handle having a play date outside in the cold. It's completely up to you, dependent on what your situation is, but that is what's worked best for me. I feel pretty lucky that most of my mum friends are also introverts. We are always on the same page and have good communication about our needs. We're able to tell each other if we're just not up to it, and if we're too peopled out, or if we just need to collapse on each other's couches in silence, or just sit by the beach. As I've said in many of my videos, communication is key in any relationship, including our parent friends. The great thing about when our kids are little is that we get to choose who we hang with. What about when our kids are old enough to make their own friends? Well, points 1 to 3 still work. And you know what? Communication is still key. You know that I always talk about communication. It's key in every relationship. So I'm an open book, and I often do talk about my introverted needs, even when I first meet somebody new in my life. And so far, I have found that people have completely respected that and respected me more when I am open and honest about it. It's also given them an opportunity to open up about themselves, their own struggles, if they're an introvert, what their needs are. I really encourage that open communication. You might be surprised at how people respond to that. Give it a go. This is only going to work with those who have girly bits. Get to know your cycle. I bet you that your energy levels and how sensitive you are to sensory input changes based on what week you're in. Get to know when your high energy week is, where you feel more extroverted and social. Try to base your play dates around that. I find when you do this, you won't feel so drained after a play date. The truth is, being an introvert in an extrovert's world is hard. Being an introvert parent in an extrovert's world can be even harder, especially when you want to do the right thing by your kid and give them lots of opportunities to be social and learn friendship skills. Honestly, this will most likely be an ongoing battle for us. I wish I could, have the magic wand to take away these issues that we as introverts face, but I can't. This is our reality. The reality is we may always be in that cycle of giving and burning out, giving and being exhausted. So please be kind to yourself, show yourself love. You're doing the absolute best that you can for you and your child. It's okay to say no to playdates if you do feel absolutely exhausted, and it's okay to rest after a playdate so that you can refuel yourself. I promise you, as your kids get older, it does get easier. You will find that time for yourself again. If you do burn out, please, please, please don't stress about it or think you've failed yourself. Just do what you gotta do to bring your energy levels back up. Lots of self-care, lots of love, lots of holding yourself. Of course, it is important that you learn those signs and symptoms when you might be approaching a full-on introvert burnout, because the sooner you notice it, the sooner you can put that self-care in and perhaps cancel some events so that you can recover quicker and get back into life. To learn what some of those signs and symptoms might be, then check out this video. You can actually witness me in the middle of an introvert burnout, because yes, even an introvert therapist can go through burnout too. So check it out here, and I'll see you over there.